Hello, my name's Sofia and welcome to my channel. I'm going to be sharing my 10 top tips for new teachers or first year teachers or NQTs as we say here in the UK. If you don't know me, I'm a secondary school science teacher from London, and I make videos giving advice and tips and information to all sorts of teachers and educators. So if it's something that you're interested in, then go ahead and click the subscribe button and switch on your notifications so that you don't miss a video in the future. And also leave me a comment down below letting me know where you're from in the world and what videos you'd like to see in the near future. So my first tip is for you to be yourself. Chances are, if you're already in teaching, then you already have the right instincts and you care deeply about educating young people. So just trust those instincts and be your own identity and create your own person in that room when you're teaching your lessons. I think the danger with getting lots of inspiration from all sorts of different places is that you then try to do the things that other people have done and that has been successful for them. And I think that there's nothing wrong with that, but I think from the beginning just try to do things in your way and what feels comfortable to you, so that it's a sustainable way to teach and that you then don't end up having to change things drastically because you weren't able to keep up with it. So do what is true to you, and it doesn't mean that in the future you won't need to tweak things to improve your own teaching practice, but it means that you've got a really good baseline to work from. And I also think that it's so crucial for everyone to just own who they are as a person. So be yourself. Just be yourself unapologetically. My second tip is to build really strong relationships with students and with staff. If there's anything that you take away from this video, it has to be this one. I think part of being an educator and a teacher is to instill change wherever you go, and I think it's also to be a really positive presence. So because you're a first year teacher and you're new to the profession, you can be feeling a little bit out of place because everyone already has their routines in their classroom and they already have that stamp on things and they've got their personality that fits into the school. And I think there's nothing wrong with being new to the school. I think actually it's a great opportunity for you to try things out. So I would just recommend that you get involved in school activities, join extracurricular clubs, take on, some different types of things that could expose you to different types of students that you don't normally teach, or different members of staff from other departments. But if that's a little bit daunting because you're worried that it's going to take up too much time, then just listen out for conversations that students have and that staff have. Be curious, ask questions, get involved, and just be present with whoever's around you. And then I think they will get to know you, you'll get to know them, and you'll feel like you have a sense of belonging. And I think that's really important for you to get straight away in the first sort of few weeks, so that you feel that you're happy where you're working. My third tip for you is to get lots of assessment for learning in your first weeks teaching classes, and then to continue with lots of different AFL activities throughout the year. I think because those classes are new to you, you could rely heavily on previous year data and sort of the grades that students have had before. But I think there's a little bit of a danger with that. They had a different teacher, probably they were in a different classroom, and sometimes kids just need a fresh start. So I would say to make your lessons very impactful and your planning very purposeful, and also to help you manage your workload, and we'll talk about that in another video, I would just really recommend that you do lots of different types of AFL, where it could be true or false quizzes, progress checks, it could be correct false statements, it could be like a mini test or a mini quiz, it could be peer assessment, self-assessment. I think it's just important for kids to get to know really quickly that you're there to support them and you're there to highlight to them the things that they know, the things that they don't know, and what they need to do to get better. Once a kid knows that you really care about their education and about making them better than what they currently are, they'll have the buy-in and they will work really well for you. So it's a double whammy, because it helps you with your behaviour management, but it also helps you with your planning and marking of students' work. So let me know how your AFL goes and good luck with it. My fourth tip for you is to do with organisation. So just make sure you find an organisation system that works for you, whether that is paper with binders and planners, or whether that's digital, or a combination of both. I think it's important that you stay organised throughout the year. There will be different periods of time that are more, stressful and they're busier. So you have to be able to manage your time and manage all of the different tasks that you need to do. So find what works for you. Don't dwell too much on it, just get on with it. And remember to clear up everything that you were doing throughout the day at the end of the day, so that it doesn't start to pile up, day after day, week after week, and then you've got this mammoth of tasks or papers to sort through. No one wants that. So just make sure you stay organised throughout those first few weeks. So tip number 5 is to find your quick wins. I would recommend that you ask a colleague or a work friend for some hacks or some strategies that help save you time. That can be with your planning, your marking, your emails, your admin, or general moving around the school site. The school that I work with is huge, and I don't want to waste time moving from rooms to rooms, so I'd always try to ask for shortcuts or any quick tips with specific students that I'm struggling with, or I would ask in advance for maybe a lesson PowerPoint that I really liked and I could use that as a template to work from and have other lessons prepped from that one. So just use the people you already work with and find the quick wins that make you a happier person at work, so that you can then have more time to spend on the things that you really need to improve and perfect. So tip number 6 is to take opportunities. I've heard so many new teachers give excuses of the fact that they are a first year teacher, that they don't have as much time, and they're stressed and they're worried with everything that they already have to do, that they don't want to take on any more responsibilities and tasks. But I would argue that you should. I know it's a bit controversial, but what I would recommend is that you just keep an open mind. I think it's so important for you to go and watch teachers who are super awesome at different aspects of the job, whether that is behaviour management or AFL, or they're really good with planning a sequence of lessons, or their starters are amazing. So just try and find experts and go and watch them teach, and also find other opportunities, whether that's for your professional development in your subject area with your subject knowledge, or whether that is a conference that you can go to, or also maybe you want to get involved in further education, like taking a master's or doing another course, something of that nature. So just get involved, take those opportunities, because what I find is if you do say yes to those things, not only do you get exposed to people who are like-minded and also have those similar aspirations, you will then as a result feel super inspired and super motivated, and you'll get all of these fresh ideas that help you with your teaching, and it just makes the year a little bit more enjoyable because you have that source of inspiration. So I recommend that you take those opportunities. Obviously, be aware of how stressed you are and what you can manage. So find a few things that will work for you and that will really help you with your teaching practice. So tip number 7 is to be reflective. I'm not saying for you to sit down and journal your whole day and think about what worked and what didn't work. And I'm also not saying for you to be critical and judgmental of your own teaching. What I am saying and suggesting is that you just take 30 seconds between lessons. So when you say goodbye to a class and you welcome a new class into your room, those 30 seconds of transition, have a think about what worked in that lesson and what didn't work, and also think about what you should do next time to make it a little bit easier. There are always those few little tweaks that you could have made, and I think it's so important to just acknowledge it so then you can act on it quite quickly. Something that a few of my work friends do is they keep a little journal where they, at the end of the day, they write 3 things that went really well and 1 thing that they need to work on, and it's really good for your mental well-being and just generally for you to feel okay about how you're doing at school. But I also would add, be kind. Just don't stress out too much about it. Just be mindful and be reflective of what you are doing really well at, so it keeps you motivated, but also then it also keeps you humble and honest about the things that you need to work on. So tip number 8, I'm a huge fan of acronyms, so I might just create an acronym from this one. I'm going to go for FAR. Flexible, adaptive and resilient. Now this one's a really important one for me. I think if I had to break down what makes teachers quite successful, it would have to be somewhere in the line of these 3. So if you're flexible and adaptive, then what it means is that you are able to plan a lesson when you're delivering that lesson, you know that it's not working, and that's okay. If it's not working, you're able to think straight away in that moment what you should do to change it. Now, being flexible means that you need to lose a little bit of your pride. It's okay that you spent 2 hours planning that lesson. It's okay that you spent an hour printing and prepping all of the resources. And it's okay that it didn't work, because you're learning a lesson that maybe these types of activities work much better at that time of the day, or with this specific type of class, or once the class has built a specific skill. So it's always a useful lesson. And that's where the resilience comes in. You have to be resilient in picking yourself up when you failed. You're going to have numerous failures every day. And it's okay, it's part of the job. Just pick yourself up and know that it's okay, that you're able to make those mistakes and learn from them as you go through the teaching year. Okay, we've got 2 more to go. Tip number 9 is to pace yourself. I think it's really important for you to find a work routine from the beginning of the year that is going to work for you, and it's going to be sustainable for the rest of the year. I remember when I started my NQT, I had the expectation that I was going to be working longer hours, but I set myself a deadline. I said that that was not going to be always the case, and it would probably last until November time. But then I was going to go home at a normal time that I wanted to. So I think just manage your expectations and find a pace that works for you to keep on top of things in a sustainable way. My last tip for you is to stay positive. I think it's so important for you to just remember the reasons why you've become a teacher and why you want to work with young people. So whether you want to just write a note for yourself to read during those really tricky moments, that's absolutely fine, but make sure that you are the beam of light or that colleague that you really want to work with, and avoid making complaints and being negative. Just pick yourself up, keep motivated. You are probably at the peak of your career in terms of your excitement, so just really enjoy it. Be creative, be innovative, be ambitious, and you're really going to thrive this year. Stay positive and be active and have loads of initiative, because it will definitely pay off. And there you have it. I really hope that you have found these 10 tips very useful. I do have so many more to share, but I wanted to start with those as I think they are the most important ones to be mindful of. If you have liked this video, then please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos. I would love to hear from you, so leave me a comment down below with any further tips that you have or any questions that you want me to answer. Have a joyous and a beautiful day, and I will see you soon. Bye!